a 1998 purple Mercury Sable.
Honda Accord.
A 1987 Chevy Cavalier.
My first car was a red Pontiac Grand Prix.
My first car was a 1996 green Mustang GT.
First car, I actually still have it, like a blue Toyota Corolla.
It was a truck actually, but it was a 1995 Chevy 1500. It was a standard too, so yeah.
My very first car was a blue Ford Probe.
It was a 1995 red Toyota Camry that was my grandma's old car, and she gave it to me.
First car was a Geo Tracker. It was purple. The roof, it came off like a Jeep. But yeah, it was super sketchy. There was always sand in it. It was a great little beach car, but I only had it for like 3 months and then I got rid of it. But
So it was a 92 maroon minivan with the wood grain on the side with no air conditioning. And the only window that went down was the driver's window, and that was it.
My first car was a green Pontiac Grand Am.
First car was a black Grand Am that I shared with my dad.
I drove a 92 Honda Accord station wagon.
The first car that was in my name that I still have is a Hyundai, but the first car I actually got to drive was Cadillac.
My first car was a Toyota Avalon 1997.
A Mitsubishi Galant.
1969 Camaro.
A 2013 Dodge Charger.
It's actually a car I'm still driving. 2012 Candy Red Chevy Cruze.
A 1987 Oldsmobile Cutlass.
I had a black Mazda Protege.
Oh, my first car was a Mazda 323. It was a little two-door hatchback that my grandparents gifted me for high school graduation. And it was a 4-speed. And it was the greatest little car. I drove the wheels off of that car.
Coaching, I was in 5th grade, maybe 6th grade. I was doing the ball handling station at North Shore Express, which is an AAU basketball program up in Lake Forest, Illinois. And I was doing the kindergarten ball handling station during their practices. And I'm pretty sure I was paying for me playing AAU basketball. I'll have to check that with my dad.
I was a bartender.
I worked at a Mexican restaurant called Vista Grande.
My first job was making pizzas in Chicago.
I was an overnight cashier at Walmart one summer.
I was a ref for soccer games.
I grew up, say, small town, so I worked on a farm quite a bit, just driving tractors, worked in the hay fields, different things like that. So technically, I guess that was my first job.
My very first job, I taught swimming lessons with my next door neighbor who had a business in her home.
I used to referee soccer games, but my first official job, I would say was working at Blockbuster Video.
First job was a gymnastics coach, ironically. Yep. 13 years old.
I worked at Sonic when I was in high school. It was pretty sweet, got all the drinks,
First job, does working on the farm and babysitting count?
Coaching gymnastics, like coaching club gymnastics as a level 5 head coach.
I was a summer intern at my church.
I think I worked at TJ Maxx for a little bit.
My first job was, I was a cashier at Kroger's.
I worked at this place called Parker Uniforms. They sold all the uniforms for the private schools in Dallas. So,
First job was Chili's, worked as a busboy.
Working for the athletic department in my undergrad.
Freshman year in college, I worked for the Division of Rec Sports at one of our recreational facilities.
I was a golf caddy at Warwick Hills Country Club, home of the Buick Open.
A concession worker at a movie theater.
My first full-time job was an assistant athletic trainer at the University of Arkansas.
It's either the Nokia that had Snake on it, or it's the Motorola Razr, and I'm not really sure which one. They were like one and the same. I can't remember which it was.
I don't even know. It was like the knockoff Razor, but it like clicked every time it opened. It was like, and so I thought it was so cool, and I got it in the 4th grade because my parents, nobody like had to walk home, so that's the only reason why I got it. And I thought it was so cool, but I wanted to keep opening and closing it in class, and I had nobody to text. Like literally, it was just my parents, and so I'm like, okay. And I got embarrassed in front of the whole class. Never took my phone out again.
It was one of those really cool, large ones, like in the bag that went in the car and plugged into the cigarette outlet, and I could only use it for emergencies.
I had like one of those Nokia flip phones to start.
It was about this big, like this long, but only when it was flipped out. So it was like this, and then you would open it, and that was how your phone went. It was literally like it was this big, and it was a pretty color blue. And I don't know what kind of phone it was now, but I have to find it.
First phone was it was a blue Xenon, you know, the one that flip up with a keypad. Yeah.
The like Nokia brick, the one with Snake on it, the game, that was it. That was my first one. I don't even remember. That was like, I didn't get a phone until like maybe sophomore year of high school, somewhere around in there.
It had to have been a Nokia something.
I want to say it was a Nokia where the only game was on there was a Snake game.
It was a little Nokia brick flip phone that didn't do anything, you know?
I had a flip phone, and I think I got it in like 8th grade. And
A flip phone? I think it was Nokia.
I don't know the name of it, but it was a Verizon one that was like silver with like a little navy blue on it, and it flipped open, but couldn't tell you the name of it.
Because when I was growing up, we still had like landlines, so I had like the cordless VTech lime green phone in my room.
It was a pink flip phone. It wasn't a Razor, but it was very shiny.
It was the slider with the keyboard.
I don't know what it's called. It was a flip phone.
First phone was the Nokia, the one you played Snake on, just the flat one.
It was a flip phone, honestly.
It was my dad's phone, but I started riding bus, so they gave it to me, and it was just the brick Nokia phone that I could play Snake on.
It was one of those Nokia phones that kind of looked like a brick. I would be willing to bet you that if you found that phone and plugged it in, it would still work today.
I had a green house phone in high school and in my own designated line to my bedroom.
Oh, Lord. My first phone, I don't even remember who made this thing. It was so horrible. Oh, God. But of course, it was, this big. It was huge. I honestly couldn't even tell you who made it. And I think it worked for all about a month. And then I went to, a BlackBerry after that.
Weird Al Yankovic, 13 years old.
Jonas Brothers.
Billy Ray Cyrus.
A U2 concert with my dad, because my dad's a big U2 fan.
I saw Usher in concert.
Very first concert I went to was Gwen Stefani.
I want to say it was Cross Canadian Ragweed.
Very first concert I went to was Smashing Pumpkins.
It was Kanye West in college.
It was a concert with a bunch of people. It was called Winterfest, but I think Toby Mac headlined it.
So I did actually go to an NSYNC concert when I was really young. I very vaguely remember it because I was so young. Because I guess I must have been in like kindergarten or first grade or something, because I think that was their era for us.
I believe it was Winter Jam. It's this kind of festival type thing, but it's all Christian artists in like one concert. We went with my youth group.
It was Aaron Carter.
Jonas Brothers.
Queen Naija. I don't know if everybody knows her, but she's a YouTuber. One of my friends gave me tickets to see her for my birthday 3 years ago, and I saw Clarence too backstage, so I met like both of them.
Kirk Franklin. I went a lot of those when I was younger.
Willie Nelson. Yeah, I was probably 5 or 6. My mom was a huge fan, so I grew up on that. And that was, yeah, for sure Willie Nelson.
The first concert I went to a Britney Spears concert when I was probably like in middle school. Yeah.
Chris Brown Fame Tour. It was him, Bow Wow. I think somebody else was there, but I can't remember. But definitely those two were there.
Chicago.
MC Hammer, In Vogue, and Vanilla Ice.
The very first concert that I can remember was the Oak Ridge Boys and Kenny Rogers.